When you're feeling all alone, only you to hold your own. No one there to help you, only there to hold you down. So stop, don't beat up yourself, 'cause it's everyone else. So don't look down, look up around, 'cause you are better. I can see that when the fire gets started, it takes a lot of tears to wash away. When they come and make you feel downhearted, don't hide away. And now it's feeling like the longest day. It's getting harder to find the will to stay. You gotta find the strength inside of you, so don't hide away.
Most of us have felt like our parents are being too strict at some point, insisting on high grades, restricting our times to be home, or following our cultural traditions. We know that they only want the best for us, but while we search for our own self-identity, we want to start making our own decisions. We want more space to grow. Communication with our parents can be difficult, but it's really important to tell them how you feel. This is a story about a teenager named Eileen. She faced an unimaginable childhood, and the disconnect with her family only made things much worse.
In my childhood, I was sexually abused by someone very close to me. My name is Eileen. I grew up in a Chinese family. It was a very strict and hardworking family. My parents immigrated to Canada, worked 3 jobs to help us survive. They didn't speak English, and they still have a lot of trouble speaking English to this day.
Wait.
So we always had a lot of communication problems. It was a very traditional household where the females do the cooking and cleaning. And while I had to do all these things, my brother could watch TV and do all the things that he wanted to do. While juggling the household responsibilities, I had to spend a lot of time doing my homework. I went to a school where it was extremely strict on academics. I kept getting good marks because of the work ethic my parents built in me, but at the same time, I was extremely reserved, and I didn't really like that part of me. In my childhood, I was sexually abused. I really kept it a secret, a dark secret, for 20 plus years. Because of our communication problems, I never felt reassured that telling my parents would do anything, until one day I had to stand up for myself, and I told them about what happened to me as a child. I told them what happened throughout my whole life up until that point. At first it was really hard because they really didn't believe me. They thought that I was lying, or that it was just simply unbelievable. I remember I was crying and I went to my room and I spent a lot of time in my room. I felt depressed. I didn't like to talk to my parents, my brother, or my friends. I didn't like to talk to anyone. I just didn't feel normal. You're always asking yourself, why did this happen to me? No one else is going through the same thing as me, and you feel like you're not worthy of all the great things in the world. I would always wonder if I'm missing out. Why are people not inviting me to parties? Am I not that cool? And that really made me feel isolated from the rest of the world. I really hated myself in high school. I always wore turtlenecks. I didn't feel comfortable wearing clothes that really exposed skin. I was extremely self-conscious of my body. I didn't think I was beautiful. I didn't think that any of the students would like me. I didn't think the female and the male students would think that I am attractive enough to be a part of their group. I was considered one of the smartest people in the school. I was also considered one of the shyest.
I'd like to call upon a student for outstanding achievement, Eileen.
I would keep quiet. I would not say anything. And I would hear some people snickering behind me saying like, oh, she doesn't talk to other people. And I never felt good about that. My parents wanted me to really do well and excel in school. So I had to take like extra math classes, Chinese classes, art classes. Often in a Chinese culture, fun is not something that is appreciated or something that people think is a good thing. If you have fun, it means you're lazy, you're not doing what you are supposed to be doing. And I think that kind of became my habit. I became busy all the time. I always wanted to be busy because I thought if I watched 1 hour TV or maybe 10 minutes of TV, I am slacking, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I remember I watched boxing motivational videos that you find on YouTube. It was Muhammad Ali. It was just really motivating. I decided that I had to fight for myself. I wrote down my goals and I kept on my wall. I told myself, and even to this day, I tell myself every single day that you have to be strong because no one else will be strong for you except you. It was like life was giving me a second chance to really fight back for myself for what happened when I was a child. And that was the moment when I completely changed. And I think the moment you stand up for yourself is a realization that you deserve all the good things in the world. All the dreams you want to make come true is possible. There's nothing wrong with you. When university started, I decided that it's a new start, it's a new identity, and I just did a whole new makeover. For so many years, I was afraid to do that. I thought that it would be inappropriate for me. I came home, my mom was so surprised.
Eileen, is that you?
Yeah.
Are you doing drugs now?
No, Mom. It's just the new Eileen. Don't you like it?
I became more confident. I decided to do things for myself. I decided to find friends who really support me. For many years, I thought all those trendy clothes are not for me. I didn't think I was attractive enough. But that time where I was figuring myself out, I told myself I have to try wearing those clothes. I started buying more and more things that were more trendy, that I see other girls are more comfortable with, and I wanted to be just as comfortable as they were. And that took a while because I still had that anxiety. Every time I wear something like anything like a little bit revealing, I feel extremely self-conscious. I feel like I'm doing something that's not right, that I might be asking for something bad to happen to me. I changed my outside, but on the inside, I was still dealing with a lot of self-esteem issues. I had my first 2 boyfriends in university. They taught me many things about myself. I felt very unconfident during the relationships. They were very abusive in the way they talked to me. I felt like, why am I dealing with this? I have to change. I have to really stand up for myself and say like, you really deserve great people in your life and there's no more tolerating bad behavior from people. You really have to learn to be stronger. That was the moment I started to really meditate and understand myself, do things for me, do the things that I love, do things that make me feel good. I started to feel more confident in myself. My parents wanted me to become a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, all the jobs that are considered very high paying. They thought that I would be happier that way. I decided to do French. I watched a lot of French TV, not because I had to learn the language, but because I really enjoy listening to the sound of the language. I'm very glad to have chosen French because it has made me a more social person. I am very engaged with the French community and I enjoyed talking to more people. I enjoy being a part of outings and parties. And now I'm in a relationship with someone who really respects me, who really loves me. He's always there to really bring me up. He's always saying, I'm here to support you. He's really there for me. I also became closer to my parents. Even though at first they didn't believe me, they became very sympathetic. They have been there for me, and I am very grateful for them. I want them to know that I am actually doing everything I can to really help myself build a better life.
I'm first generation, so like my parents were here, they came, I guess it's the same story. They expect a lot from the girls. Like my marks had to be above 90 or 95 sometimes. I had to get into what they wanted me to do. I have a brother, he's 3 years younger than me. He could do whatever he wanted. He could not go to school, he could have bad grades, and it was fine.
My parents came to Canada, and me and my sister were born here. We do have a kind of strictness with our lives where we do have to have the perfect grades, and we do have to have like a perfect life. They're really growing to understand. They're really trying to understand what me and my sister want to do with our lives and like how they should start to communicate with us. And I appreciate that they're doing that, but there is times where I'm kind of like, I'll just talk to someone else about it. Like maybe I shouldn't talk to you about it because you might just get mad or you might not understand like what I'm feeling.
I can totally relate to Eileen when she said perfect girl because, you know, like in Middle Eastern family, you have to be good and they're expecting to have good marks. But let's say that you don't follow this structure and you don't have great marks, so you would definitely drop out of high school, like grade 9, get married soon and have children and then stay at home raising your children.
My parents grew up like, you know, keeping everything to themselves, so they kind of trained me to grow up that way too, to keep everything to myself. If I have any pain, if I have anything, it's hard to approach them because they're that cut off. I've never heard my dad say I love you to me, actually.
Eileen, she got sexually abused as a kid, and when she did try to communicate with her parents through that, they accused her of lying because she is a girl and they would think that she's trying to become an attention seeker. And she was sexually abused by someone close to her, she said. I would be heartbroken if that happened to me and my parents didn't trust me, they didn't believe me.
Closest people, your parents, they don't want to hear about it. They call you a liar when you come out about it. It's heartbreaking.
I personally related to the way that she covered herself up with turtlenecks. Myself, I like to wear like big t-shirts and like sweaters and a lot of layers and stuff, because we all have our own internal struggle with how we look and how others perceive us. Like we have our own self-esteem issues.
Have you ever been in a situation where you didn't feel comfortable sharing your thoughts and feelings with the people around you? I know I have. I think we all have. Let me tell you 2 ways that can help you work through those feelings. Number 1, get to know who you want to be. Not the person you think you have to be or the person that others tell you to be. Learn who the best version of you is. The version of you that makes you proud of yourself, and practice being that person every day. And number 2, get some support. If you have family or friends you can reach out to, great. But if you feel like you don't, try a counselor or someone in your community. Find a safe space to express your feelings and thoughts to support you in being that best version of you. We can see how Eileen became more confident in herself when she started living this way. She was able to help her brain build confidence because she was willing to get to know the best version of herself and then take action in her life as that person. So to help your brain create confidence, take some time to explore the answer to these questions. Number 1, what are 3 qualities you admire most in people or yourself, and how can you incorporate these qualities in your life? Number 2, who can you express your needs to, and how often are you seeking their support? And number 3, what is one action you can take today that best represents the qualities you admire the most? These type of questions help your brain develop a vision and a map of actions that most accurately portrays the best version of you. Acting as this person daily builds a healthy level of confidence and helps you work through challenges. Keep this vision of yourself front and center. Your confidence depends on it. With that in mind, until the next time, let's do better by thinking better.
As a child, Eileen endured the kind of abuse that would require immediate psychiatric intervention. Hiding childhood abuse should never, ever be kept secret, as it can have a devastating lifelong effect. Despite this horrible experience and her resulting self-esteem challenges, Eileen was able to find her voice through motivational videos and the support of a trusted adult. She became a fighter, and her resilience is astonishing. Once she finally realized that she was not at fault for what happened to her, she was able to focus on becoming the person she was meant to be. Think of who you want to be, and focus on becoming that very best version of you.